All right, this lesson is on how to use filters. To start off, one of the main things that you should know is that filters require your object to be a movie clip symbol. Okay, now you shouldn't worry if you created these as graphic symbols as I've recommended, okay, because the program has the ability to very easily change your movie clip based on each instance that you use it. Every time that you use it, we call that an instance. You can change it from one symbol type to another very easily, okay? So just the key thing to remember is that if you do want to run some kind of a filter, in order to even get that option to pull up, your instance of that object has to be converted into a movie clip. Okay, so here to start, if I have this item here, it's the background, it's just sitting here all by itself and it's just visible, okay, right now. If I just want this object to be visible because I want it to appear like it's in the far background, like this is a really far away background, I can just make this blurry. I don't need any animation applied to it, okay? To do that, all I would need to do is go to my properties menu. I would select it here. And you'll notice that right now I don't have the option that I'm going to need, which is a filters option, okay? But if I go ahead and I click here, I can go to movie clip, okay? And under movie clip, I'm going to find these different options. Like this one is for filters. Filters is the one that I'm looking for. I'm going to go in here and I'm going to go ahead and add a filter. And you'll notice that it pops up these different options now. I'm going to go ahead and click on the blur filter, for instance, right? Now I can go in here and I can add blur this way and it'll automatically add blur in the opposite direction, or I can unlink these and I can just add it in one direction. Okay, say that I wanted to make a car that looked like it was going really fast, I might want to go that direction to get that kind of blur. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and link these back together and I'm going to change all of these to 30. Okay, and then when I move them, they should move sequentially together. Okay, all right. So there you have a background, all right? And it's just stationary and it's just visible that way. So you could use it this way, or if you wanted to, I'm going to go ahead and turn off this layer, the little eyeball here. I'm going to create a new layer and I'm going to call this one blurry background, blurry BG, okay? And I'm going to go ahead to my library palette and I'm going to go ahead and drag it in there again and position it. And this time what I'm going to do is I'm going to right click and I'm going to activate it to do a create motion tween so that it knows that it's going to animate. Now what I can do is I can just go ahead and go to the very end of the timeline here and tell it that I'm going to, in my properties palette, and then select it and tell it that I'm going to make it blurry here. Notice I have to make sure that I make it a movie clip first, otherwise I'm not even going to get that option. It automatically applies it to the whole clip, okay? And I could go in here and I can do an add filter. And I could go in here and do blur, and I could go ahead and go in here and blur it up. Okay. Now I could, if this is just gonna go and it's gonna get to blurry to where I told it to be, but I could in theory actually go into different locations of this, select the object, blur it more, select the, go down in here, select the object again, blur it less, so that it kind of toggles in between blurry and not blurry. Okay, select the object. Notice you're only going to get these options if you select it on the actual stage. You have to physically grab it and then tell it what to do, okay? And then I'm just going to go back. And we're just going to keep going like this, okay? So you'll notice if I go to the beginning, I'm going to return, blur, come to clear. All right, that one I didn't change, and then there. Okay? So basically you have the ability to control this at different multiple points just like you would an animation. You could also shrink this simultaneously, rotate it, anything that you want like that, okay? Basically just telling it what to do. Now there's other filters that you could run on here, okay? We're just going to go into select the object. If I go down to the bottom here, you'll notice that there's drop shadow, there's glow, there's bevel, there's all these different ones that you can use. You can just go ahead and test these out. They work the same. You apply them in the same way. If you don't want, if you want to apply them just directly to the item and you don't want it to animate this way, you just did it like I did the first one. And if you want the glow or the bevel or whatever to animate, then you could do this one, okay? I'm actually linking you to another video tutorial that also talks to you about how to copy your settings for one object so that you can easily apply them to another object. So that's also a possibility if you wanted to. All right, this concludes your lesson on filters. If you have any questions, make sure to hit me up. Visit me on Skype during office hours. All right, good luck.